What is up, guys? I'm the Senator, and today I'm going to be going over the Rainbow Six Siege operators who are the easiest to play. Now, Siege is in its 5th year, but it's a game that is continuously growing and new players are constantly being introduced to the game. So this video is designed to help people who may be newer to the game and you're really interested in Siege, but you're not really sure what you're doing or who to pick. And Siege is probably the most difficult multiplayer shooter, and it's very complicated and has probably the biggest learning curve of any game. So a lot of players are coming into this game and they're not really sure what's going on. So in this video, I'm going to show you which operators are the easiest to play. And not only have I picked operators that are easy to play, but these are operators that are also very, very useful to your squad. So enough with the intro, let's get into the attackers. So our first operator is Thatcher. And Thatcher is an operator that is both extremely easy to play and can be so useful to your team. And Thatcher is one of those operators that is really never a bad pick. And if you're not really sure who to play, Thatcher could be your best option. He's a support player who can deal with defensive electronic gadgets, and Siege is a game where the current meta revolves around getting rid of the defender gadgets. And I think all around he's just a great pick for newer players. And while he is not an operator you can expect to frag out with every time, his AR-33 is probably one of the most underrated weapons in the game. Okay, really quickly before I move on to the next operator, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon, that way you can be notified every time I post a video. Okay, next on our list we have Sledge, and Sledge is just a very easy, bare bones operator, and it's like, what you see is what you get. He has a sledgehammer, and it's just so simple to use, but you can get some utility from it. You can open up soft walls, but typically he's used to go up above sight and take out the floor or the defender's ceiling. That way he can throw grenades and kill them from above. And that's basically how his utility works. And honestly, it doesn't get any more simpler than that. You can look at a bunch of other operators, and a lot of them require a lot of skill and a lot of game knowledge in order to use their utilities effectively. But not with Sledge. You just have to take your hammer, go above sight, and make noise. Sledge also has one of the easiest guns to use in the game. He has the L85A2, which fires at a rate of 670 rounds per minute, which honestly isn't the greatest. And in Siege, it's always better to have a gun that fires at a higher fire rate because it works off a mechanic where it's a one-shot instant kill to the head. However, if you are new to the game and you're still trying to get the hang of the gun mechanics and trying to get your aim on point, the L85A2 is a great gun for you because, one, it's easy to control and has a very, very high damage output. So even if you're not able to hit those headshots, you will be doing a lot of damage to them. And lastly, for our attackers, we have Blackbeard. And so Blackbeard is an operator that is hated by pretty much everyone in the Rainbow Six Siege community. And honestly, I think most of us could probably agree that the game would be better if he wasn't in it. And that's because Siege is a game that relies on headshots, and Blackbeard sort of just ruins that main component of Siege. Nevertheless, he is just extremely easy to use and is great for players who are new to the game and trying to get a hang of everything. Having plastic wrap on the end of your gun that prevents you from getting shot in the head is a great benefit to those who are new to the game and are tired of dying every time they pick a corner and they're still trying to get used to, the gunplay and the mechanics. His gadget really provides no utility at all to the team other than maybe being able to hold an angle on a window. But if you're new to the game, you'll love Blackbeard. His 2 plastic wrap sheets is like having 2 extra lives. And his only huge downfall is that his gun is terrible, which honestly is great considering that he can't even get shot in the face. So even though he's an operator that provides very, very little utility to the team as a whole, he's great for players who are just now trying to get the hang of things. And so that about does it for the attackers. Yes, there probably could have been some more in there, but those are just the operators that jump out to me when I think of operators who are just extremely easy to play and do bring some utility to the team. Other than maybe Blackbeard, because as I said, he's very, very forgiving and very, very easy to play for new players, but provides no utility whatsoever. Okay, so now we're moving on to the defenders, and first up we have Rook. And Rook is without a doubt the easiest operator that anyone can play. He has a gadget that provides utility to the entire team and also has the MP5 with an ACOG. And being useful and having an ACOG on defense is not a common thing. But when it comes to Rook, you just have to set out your armor at the beginning of the game and then boom, you're set. You have no other responsibilities. And he's just so simple that honestly, I think he should be the only operator that new players do play. This is just my opinion, but I think that until new players are able to understand the basics of Siege, they're probably best off picking Rook rather than maybe a Pulse or a Castle, who are operators who are very, very difficult to play and require a lot of game knowledge and experience to be effective with. And so it's best that they just bring Rook because he provides utility to the entire team. He has a great gun with an ACOG, and he is without a doubt the easiest operator to play. Okay, so next on our list we have Kapkan. And Kapkan is a great operator for newer players and is just so easy to play. And there's really no wrong way to play Kapkan. You just set up your traps at the bottom of random doorways and windows and pray that the attackers are stupid enough to just run into them. And Kapkan really shines in those last moments of the round where the attacker has to push into sight and the last thing on his mind is the Kapkan trap that he's about to walk into. And when it comes to newer players, usually the set it and forget it operators are typically the easiest. And when it comes to set it and forget it operators, spoiler alert, Jaeger isn't on this list for the easiest defenders because while it's very easy to use his utility, he's currently a 3-speed, which I know that's about to change, but he is without a doubt a roamer. And honestly, it's best that newer players don't try to take on the roaming playstyle until they're able to develop some mechanical skills, as well as just general game sense. But anyways, let's get back to Kapkan. And so his set it and forget it gadget is just so easy to use and provides some utility to the team. But also his 9x19 VSN is one of the best defender guns in the game. And while it does have a fire rate of 750 rounds per minute, which isn't the greatest for an SMG, it is a laser. And honestly, I think it's probably the most accurate gun on defense, to the point where sometimes I question if the reticle is even moving. Not to mention that the reticles on Spetsnaz operators are so cool. And so moving on to our last operator, we have Mute. Now, out of all the operators that I've mentioned, Mute probably does require a little more skill and game knowledge than others, but I still think he's a great pick for new players. Out of all the operators in the game, Mute provides the most utility out of any operator, and knowing how to play him is just a matter of knowing where to put your 4 Mute jammers. And if you're a new player, it's really simple. Put them on the walls where there is an Bandit Battery or a Kaid Claw, and put them in doorways. That's about it. And doing that provides so much utility to your team. And I can go into a long spiel about how Mute is the best operator, but I just made a video about that, so I'll try to put a card in there. But just the gist of it was Mute is the best defender operator because his utility provides so many benefits to your team, such as denying hard breachers like Thermite and Hibana, and stopping drones from coming into sight. But when it comes to Mute, overall he provides a lot of utility and is just very simple to play. Just set out the Mute jammers around the site and honestly you should be fine. He also has a very versatile kit. He has the options of an SMG, a shotgun, a pistol, and a machine pistol in his kit. And for newer players, I recommend that you run the MP5 as a primary with the SMG11 as a secondary. And the MP5 is very easy to use. However, the SMG11 does have a bit of a learning curve, but I do recommend that you equip it so that you can get used to it. Because if you can learn to become accurate with the SMG11, you will do very, very well in this game. And becoming effective with the SMG11 gives you the option to where you can actually run the SMG11 pretty much as your primary weapon, while also carrying the shotgun that you can use to create rotation holes and open hatches and that sort of thing. And so I know there's probably a lot of operators that could have went into this video, but in my experience, I feel like these are operators that have a great balance of being forgiving to new players, as well as being very, very useful to the team as a whole. So what do you think? Is this list accurate? Is this a list that you would want to share with players who are new to the game so that they could, get used to it and play operators that they're comfortable with? Are there operators that I left out? Just let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. And so that about does it for today. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you can be notified every time I post a video. And again, that about does it for today. I'm the Senator, and as always, have a good one.